Coming up with the idea is probably the most time-consuming step for me. Sometimes I've got it, sometimes I've got to go look for it. But inspiration can come from anywhere. For example, the comic we'll be making in this video was inspired by a real event that happened in high school with a buddy of mine we'll refer to as Martha. Don't stress about being relatable. Even people who don't relate to your comic will still be entertained by it. This might be an art taboo for me to say, but the sketch is completely optional, depending on your skill level and depending on the complexity of whatever it is you're drawing. If you've drawn this character enough times, you can probably improvise the line work since you have the muscle memory for it. It's the same thing as a musician memorizing a song. To save on time, don't sketch the finer details, like hair strands, clothing wrinkles, buttons, patterns, freckles, etc. Try to make your sketch as clean as possible so you're not left guessing which chicken scratch you're supposed to draw over later. You can add a second sketch to clean up the messy one if need be. I like my comics to be high quality even after Instagram compresses them, so I keep the original file at 2K. This step will vary drastically with your personal drawing style. For my comics, I use Medibang's default G brush. I also have a distinct coloring style. I usually use a dark outline, colored inline, and varied thickness. This step usually takes less time than the sketch for me, but only if the sketch is easy to read. Coloring is very easy if your lines are properly enclosed. This is where your color palette comes in handy. I use the bucket, wand, and shape tools for maximum efficiency. I use a pure white outline on my characters or any objects that are supposed to stand out and pop so that it's easy to read and people immediately know what to look at. Unless this comic is part of a serious project and not just for social media, I recommend not worrying too much about this part. People are going to spend maybe 1 to 10 seconds looking at your comic when scrolling through Instagram, and when they think about your comic, trust me, the background will most likely be the last thing on their mind if they remember there was one to begin with. Use flat colors, gradients, and simple patterns. Only add props and objects if it's crucial to the story. I like to organize the text in a separate folder. Like the characters, I also add outlines to the speech bubbles with different colors that match the person speaking. For my character speaking, I added a yellow outline, whereas for Martha, I added purple. Again, it just makes it easier for people to read. This can be kind of wonky if your composition doesn't have enough room for text. Don't be afraid of covering some parts with speech bubbles. Objects and bubbles will overlap. It's just part of comic art. It's completely natural. And again, I use the shape tool for this step. In total, each comic panel will take me around 25 to 45 minutes each, meaning each full comic will usually take only 2 to 3 hours. The example I did in this video ran the clock, I think, 5-6 hours. I usually split it up into 2 days, so the first day I brainstorm, make a sketch, and the second day I do the line and color and everything else because it's so much faster. If you'd like to see the final product, you can go to my Instagram at Some Kind of Comedy. I post other comics every Wednesday at 1300 Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes I like adding animated components, but I'll make a separate tutorial on that in the future. So try making your own comic and tag me on Instagram and use the hashtag SomeKindOfComedy. Happy drawing, folks!